Welcome to Wednesday Reflections. I'm Aaliyah. Lately, I've been thinking about how much the people around us shape the way we see ourselves, often without us even realizing it, and the conversations we're a part of, the energy we return to, the spaces we feel safe in, and the ones that leave us feeling a little smaller when we walk away. Sometimes we stay connected out of history, sometimes out of comfort, and sometimes out of fear of what it might mean to let go. And I've been reflecting on how the company we keep can either support our growth or quietly stall it. So today, I want to reflect on relationships, friendships, connections, and even familiar spaces, and how to recognize when something is aligned and when it might be time to create a little distance. If this topic feels tender or timely or even uncomfortable, you're not alone, and I'm really glad you're here. Just a gentle note, today's reflection touches on relationships and shared trauma. Please listen at your own pace. I want to first start off by speaking on the energy of our circles. Sometimes it's not about what someone says to us, it's how we feel in their presence. And energy is so important. A lot of times people will take digs at us and they make little smart remarks, and sometimes we can notice it right away and it leaves us feeling a bit uncomfortable, and we may say something in retaliation to that. We may respond back. But can we just take a moment to talk about the people who take digs at us and it's not as noticeable? Sometimes it takes us a moment to realize that they're even taking a dig in the first place, especially when you're a person who shows up in spaces with pure intentions and you're just naturally a kind person. Sometimes those digs can take a moment to really hit us, and sometimes we don't notice it until after the interaction is over, after we've already parted ways with that person. But one thing that we do know is that when those people take their digs at us, our body feels it before we can even react and realize what is going on. So I want to start once again with the energy of our circles and the energy of the people around us. It is so important, the company that we keep and the people that are around you, because these are essentially the people who are going to build you up or they're going to destroy you. And these are the people that usually we come to for advice. We come to for clarity on things, decision making, venting, you name it. This is supposed to be our community and our support system. But what happens when we have a Judas amongst us? And this is, once again, so important because sometimes you don't realize it until it's too late. For example, do you ever have somebody that you've considered a friend, but when you're having conversation with them, you just constantly are on the receiving end of the digs? Now, it's one thing when you have a friendship with somebody and you guys may playfully roast each other. Now, that is one thing. We all have those people. We're not talking about them. We know what their intentions are. They're not haters. It's all, lighthearted. But what I'm talking about is the people that are slow to compliment you, but quick to let you know when something is off, when something doesn't look right on you. You can be dressed to the nines 9 times out of 10, but that one time out of 10 where you may not be feeling the best or you didn't put the extra effort in, they come up to you and they are so quick. They're almost happy and joyous that you don't look the best. And once again, they're going to be the first to kind of call you out on it. Now, There are some friends that we need that, if we're slipping a little bit, we may have something on our face, something on our lips or whatever, then yes, I'm not talking about those people. But you guys are all competent enough. I'm sure you know what I meant. Just wanting to clarify. But those people, and then they disguise it as care. They disguise it as, oh, I'm just being real with you. And, oh, I got you, girl. It's disguised. Once again, it's not about what someone says. You know what I mean? Because those Southern belles can make things sound good, but it doesn't mean that they are good. So what I want for us to do is let's just reflect on how certain people make us feel. If we leave that interaction with that person and we feel energized, then that is amazing. That is somebody that you want to keep around. That is going to be someone that you are motivated by, that you just feel all, glitter and rainbows and sunshine with. That's perfect. But after you leave an interaction, and every time you leave an interaction, you feel draining or you feel discomfort. And sometimes you can't put your finger on it right away, but you know that something's off, something feels wrong. Trust that. Trust that instinct. Trust that gut feeling, because it's not steering you wrong. Every emotion that you have has a place and has a purpose, and there's a reason why you feel that way. So do not ignore it, because a lot of times your body is signaling to you that you are not safe in that moment, that this person is not a safe place. Be wary of them. And you should not be feeling like that after talking to people who are supposed to be your community, your friends, your family, and the people that are supposed to have your back. So once again, just reflect on how you feel after every transaction, because your mind may take a moment to keep up, but your body feels it immediately. I want to also say that sometimes we call trauma bonding with somebody connection, when really it's just familiarity as well. And I have to speak on trauma bonding because a lot of times, especially as women, we will spill our guts. We will talk and we will yap with the ladies and we will yap with the girls, and we're just sharing, and we're sharing the childhood traumas, and we're sharing, dating experiences, relationships, friendships, whatever, you name it. And we feel so connected with people, but it's really, we just have familiarity. Your trauma matches my trauma. So now I feel comfortable with you, and we can come over here and we can just vent, complain. And we're feeding into the negativity of this thing. And that is not connection. I know a lot of times we feel as though it is, because it's so deep. The thing that you went through was so deep and it hurts so bad, and it feels nice to be able to have somebody who understands that. However, if that's the only thing that you're bonding over is trauma, it's unhealthy, and that shouldn't be in your circle. Now, don't get me wrong. If you find somebody and you both relate with the same trauma, but the person is not stuck there and you're not stuck there, and you're realizing that, yes, this has happened, but we're choosing to move forward and we're supporting each other and moving forward, and the interactions are just supporting you in your own personal growth and your self-development, and just having encouragement and a friend that you can call, not only to just vent, but you can tell your achievements to and your accomplishments, and they are not hating and they are proud and they are not in competition with you, then hold on to it. But if you have a trauma bond with somebody that's still deeply wounded by that trauma, to the point of where they can't see past themselves, and if you try to tell them something wonderful that's happened in your life, and it's not even that you're bragging, but you just want to share that good news, and they can't be happy for you because they feel as though, why isn't it them? Why couldn't it be them? You have to let that go. And I know it may feel nice to have somebody to talk about that experience with, but it's not worth it. So we have to weigh out the pros and the cons of that relationship. So once again, sometimes we can call it connection, but it's just that familiarity, and it's time to let it go. Because some people are just good for a season. That person could have been really good for that season of survival that you were in, but now that you're out of survival mode, and the physical, you're not grinding as hard. You don't have to grind as hard. You found stability, and you can, once again, physically step out of survival mode. This person that you were in survival mode with may not be able to come with you when you're out of survival mode, because they're just stuck there. It's like the saying, you can take people out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of people. It's kind of like that. So once again, yes, there were relationships that were probably necessary for that old version of ourselves that were just trying to survive. And I can completely understand that. But when we get out of that, some things you need to shed. You need to shed that old skin, in a sense, and step into that newness of you. And I've been through it as well. I really have. I was in survival mode for so long that when I got out of it, I still had survival mode thoughts. I wasn't, you know what I mean? And the scary part is that you don't realize sometimes that you're even in survival mode, because it's so natural. It's like a second nature to you to be a certain way. And once you realize that you're in it, it's hard to get out of. You have to take steps. You have to tell yourself, look, we are okay now. We are safe now. So once again, I'm speaking from my own experience, but I share it because I know I'm not the only one that's been through it, that may even still be going through it, some of you guys. So I understand. Once again, this will be a safe place for that. And what I want to say as well in my next point is that we can outgrow without villainizing someone. So just because, once again, these people are not heading in the same direction as us, and they may not be there, we have to give them grace. We have to extend the grace. We have to release them with grace, because in the same way that you were once blind by the different things that you were going through and you needed a minute to grow and come into the self-awareness, they also may need a minute. And some people may never get out of it. They may never understand. They may never grow. Okay, so even when you're cutting these people off, you can do it in a graceful manner. You don't have to be like, oh, I knew you was a hater from the get-go, and you ain't never wanted to see me happy, and you ain't never wanted to support me, and did. No. Sometimes it can be a simple conversation of, hey, I care for you a lot, but we are in two different seasons of our lives, and I feel as though the relationship has gotten a little bit unhealthy, and it may be best to take a break. In the future, who knows? We may reconnect, but right now, with what it is that I personally need in this season of my life, it may be best to just go our separate ways. But there's no beef. You didn't gain me as an enemy. We're not aligned right now. But hopefully in the future, we can grow and come back together. But as of right now, we just gotta take some time apart. Like, we can give it grace. Not everything has to be drama. Not everything has to be blown up. You know what I mean? Once again, not every relationship is meant to come with us into every season. So there's a time and there's a place and there's a season for everything. So sometimes that distance can be an act of care. Letting go doesn't erase the shared history, but it does give you time to just reflect and put things to rest properly and put things in their place properly. So I don't want to take that away, because you can always appreciate what a relationship gave you and recognize that it no longer fits. So you just take what you have gained and you take what you learned and you apply what you learned and you continue to be mindful, because self-improvement and self-care is not a one-time thing. It's a continual thing. It's a marathon. It continues to go. So I just really wanted to put that in there. But I'm speaking on all the different things and all the different people to let go of with grace and, recognizing the difference through energy. But let's just take a moment to think about the people who do support us. Let's think about the people who do give us peace, who do rejuvenate us, and who do energize us. Let's just take a moment, actually. Let's take a moment and think on who feels like peace in our lives right now. Like, really, who can you call that's really there for you? Who would you be able to call if you needed prayer? Somebody that would pray for you instantly, no questions asked. Somebody who's going to be there when you're saying that you're having a rough day or a moment and you can't be alone right now. Whatever it may be, and it doesn't even have to be sad things. It can even be like, hey, let's just go chill and hang out today, or let's run some errands together or whatever. And I'm not saying that they got to be there all the time and do this, but just people who are really pouring into you and vice versa. Y'all pouring into each other. You know what I mean? Just take that time and recognize who does give you peace in your life. And if you want to, after listening to this, send them a text, give them a call, tell them that, you love them and that you appreciate them. So that's it as far as, reflecting on your company, and like the company that you keep. But I do want to segue into life updates. I'm just going to segue into different life updates real quick and let you guys know what's been going on. So since my first episode, as far as the New Year's resolutions, I have said that I was going to, get more healthy and do more healthy habits. I have still been doing the meal prep. And also, I have hit a new milestone in the gym. I've been doing the Stairmaster. My friend has been encouraging me to. She normally does 40 minutes plus on the Stairmaster. The Stairmaster was something that I personally was avoiding. Before, in the past, I'd only be able to do 5 minutes, maybe 10 if I get lucky, if that, and it would be a very hard struggle for me. But your girl has done 31 minutes, yes, 31 minutes on the Stairmaster, and I am so proud of myself, because if you would have told my past self that I was doing 30 minutes on the Stairmaster, I would have looked at you crazy and called you a liar. But yes, I am so proud of myself. I'm continuing to grind, and that is only because of my friend and her encouraging me and supporting me. So shout out to her, honestly. And this is, once again, this is why it's so important about the company that you keep, because sometimes your friends can push you to do things that you didn't even know that you could do. Because I really did not think I had no 30 minutes in me, but I have shocked myself. And then also with my other New Year's resolution, as far as hanging out with my friends a little bit more, I definitely have. I've been going to the gym a lot with that friend. And I mean, when this airs, this will already be over. But I do have a friend and her husband coming over to kind of do a double date hangout at my husband and I's place. And what it's going to be is her husband and my husband are going to be playing the PlayStation 2 or whatever game that they want to play that's in our house. My husband's going to be hopping on the grill to grill us up some burgers. And me and my friend are going to be at the dining table, and I bought us some magazines and some different cutesy like art stuff to do our vision boards, physical vision boards. So I'm really happy and looking forward to that. I've only done a physical vision board when I was like a kid, many years ago, with my mom and my siblings, when she had first brought that to my attention of even knowing what a vision board is. So shout out to my mama. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. So I'm very, very, very excited. I'm going to keep you guys updated, like little life updates in these podcast things, just to anyone who's curious and wants to know. If you guys are keeping up with your New Year's resolutions, I know we're 3 weeks into the new year. So don't tell me that you guys are giving up on those New Year's resolutions just yet. Also, I am a reader. I like to read a lot of young adult and fiction because I love an entertainment read. I don't like to read all that real stuff all the time. Life is serious, life is hectic. I need a break. So I've been seeing a lot of people reviewing and talking about Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan and just Kennedy Ryan in general. So I just went to Barnes & Noble and bought it today. I haven't started it yet, but I will. And yeah, hopefully it is a good read. But the last thing that I read was The Scammer by Tiffany D. Jackson. And that book was so good. When I tell y'all I finished that book in just a couple days, like I could not put it down. I was spending my lunch breaks reading that book. Before I went to bed, I was reading that book. Before going to work, I was reading that book. Like I was so invested, and I had to finish. I had to find out how it ended. I'm telling y'all that it was that good. Okay, so if you haven't already, go ahead and check out that book, and maybe this can be something that we talk about in another podcast. Matter of fact, it should be something that we talk about in another podcast because damn, it was that good of a book. Anywho, thank you for spending time with me. This has been Wednesday Reflections. I'm your host, Aaliyah. And until next time, take care of yourself.